You know, everybody in Dubai acts like every new project is the next big thing. Two launches every single day, fireworks, celebrities, influencers. It's almost like a rock concert every time a developer brings something new to the market. And you get this feeling that everything's gold, but let's be real, it's not. Some projects make complete sense. Others are just complete hype. So in this video I tell you exactly when off-plan investments in Dubai actually make sense, for who they make sense, and when you should rather stay away from them. Hi guys, I'm Tobias Schmidt, founder and CEO of Schmidt Partner Real Estate here in Dubai, and today I want to talk a bit more honestly about something that's become almost a religion here in Dubai: off-plan properties, pre-construction properties. So everybody either says off-plan is or pre-construction is too risky, or off-plan pre-construction is the only way to make money. The truth is somewhere in between. I've been in this market long enough to see both sides. People who doubled their money in 2 years and people who bought the wrong thing and got stuck for 5. So let's break it down. Real talk. Yes, off-plan makes sense, but not for everyone. Let's start with the obvious. Off-plan can make sense. But not every launch is worth your attention. There are over 200 developers here in Dubai, and honestly 2 new projects launching almost every single day. If you think about it, that's insane. And that's where the danger starts, because not every project is special. Many are just repacked versions of something next door, sold through marketing hype. They look amazing on billboards, beach views, branded lobbies, fancy videos, but behind that sometimes it's the same product over and over again. So if you're just buying because something is trending on Instagram, you are already losing. You need to buy based on data, location, and timing. So what does pre-construction or off-plan actually mean? When you buy pre-construction, you're not buying finished apartments. What you're actually buying is time. You're saying, I'll pay 40% now while it's being built over the next 2 to 3 years. That means your payments are stretched, your capital is already working for you, and your entry price is lower than when it's handed over. If the developer launches at 1,500 dirham per square feet and prices even before completion rise until 2,000 dirhams per square feet, you've already made 30% before you even got the keys. And that's why off-plan can make a lot of sense for foreign investors who can't get mortgages here as easily as residents. So let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets interesting. If you live in Dubai, you have a residency visa and a good income, good track record with the bank, you can usually get a mortgage with only 20% down payment. So if you buy a ready property, you pay 20%, rent it out, and the tenant basically covers your mortgage. That's long-term leverage. Over the time, you're paying only 20% of the total value and you own 100%. That's how wealth is built in real estate. Now, if you're a foreign investor without the residency visa, the story changes. For a mortgage, you'd have to pay 40 or 50% down, maybe even more. So in that case, going off-plan actually makes more sense. Because whether you buy ready or pre-construction, you'd pay 40 to 50% anyways. But with off-plan, you don't pay it all at once. You pay it gradually over 2 or 3 years. And most importantly, you are the first owner. You're buying directly from the source and you're not paying someone else's profit. So this is the so-called first buyer advantage. Yeah? Nobody besides the developer makes money off of you from buying the property. If you're buying a ready property, there's already someone who bought it before you and wants to make profit off you. So as new investors, the cheapest time to buy is always when a project is launched directly from the developer. That's your cleanest entry point into the market. But, and that's a big but, not every developer is trustworthy and not every price is attractive. Because lately I've seen a lot of projects that are priced at the same level as ready properties or even 50% higher. And that's just crazy. If you're paying 50% above ready prices for something that is going to be finished in 3 years, you're not investing, you're speculating. So how do you filter the good ones from the bad ones? So here's what I do. I compare the launch price with current resale prices of the same kind of properties in the same area using open data from Dubai government. If the off-plan is cheaper or the same price or maybe slightly higher, it makes sense. If not, and it's much higher, I skip it. I check rental comparables. If the expected rent gives you like 7 to 9% rental yield already with achievable rental prices right now, makes sense. I also look at governmental plans. What is the plan for the infrastructure in this specific area? Are they going to build malls, schools, hospital infrastructure like metro stations or whatsoever? And this is the best way to predict which areas will grow. And that's how you really separate real opportunities from marketing noise. Let's also address the elephant in the room. Yeah? Certain areas in Dubai are already flooded. Yeah, and I mean flooded with projects. Developers, they just keep building and agents keep hyping the areas up and selling them to investors with the totally wrong expectations. You can have 10 to 50,000 new units upcoming in the same area and everyone will still tell you this is the next big thing. But at some point, that just becomes unhealthy. So even if you buy off-plan, you need to buy smart in the right micro location. If you're buying in an area that's already saturated, your resale and rent will suffer. But if you buy in an undersupplied area near future infrastructure expansions like metro, schools, community malls, hospitals, that's exactly where the appreciation comes from. So here's my honest conclusion. Yeah? If you're a foreign investor who can't get a local mortgage, off-plan is your best strategy. If you're looking for short to mid-term gains, off-plan works great. If you want to buy before the crowd and you're patient, off-plan is the way. But if you're a resident and can get a decent mortgage and you're focusing on a long-term cash flow game, then buying ready might actually make more sense because you can use the leverage and let the rental income pay off the property. See, at the end of the day, it's not off-plan or ready. It's not this or that. It's not one is better than the other. It's always a subject to what's your personal strategy. Look, I love Dubai's market, yeah, but I'm not blind to the fact that there's a lot of hype. Developers here, they just know how to do the marketing. And sometimes they can sell you average projects like it's a private island, yeah. So be smart, compare numbers, verify everything, and don't fall for pressure tactics. And if you need someone who's brutally honest about what's really worth buying, that's literally what I do every day. Click the link in the description, book a free consultation with my team or me, and we'll show you exactly which project actually makes sense right now for you and your strategy.